That's probably enough of that, isn't it?
Oh, just getting into it.
No. So look,
Christ,
I've got
noise.
this is I've got a new one.
Yeah.
So we can have another quiz. The other one just bit the dust, as they say. Oh, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
No, we sit awkwardly until somebody replies.
Oh. Johnny.
Oh,
shit on it.
Yeah,
oh,
turn your volume off.
Schoolboy error.
Brilliant. So, did you hear that fantastic tune? That's the best tune I've ever found on a children's toy. And I've actually made a song. I've made a song to that. See if I can find it again. Oh. That's so good. I've made a song about Polly the anxious sheep. It's a true story. Polly the anxious sheep is only calm when she wears her duck costume. That's an actual real story. And I've made a song with those lyrics and that tune. And it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's rubbish. Anyway,
nice.
Look at this. We're going to do the quiz now. I wanted to do back to the old school. Can you hear Mark? He's in the background.
Yep.
And we've got Big Mike. We've got Big Mike. We found him.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the quiz now. I'm quite busy bee these days making things that don't sell. So I don't have time to write the whole quiz. So most of the quiz is old questions. But some of you weren't in here then. Michelle Obama's here. Do you mean Michael? Oh, here we go. So most of the quiz is old questions, but some of you weren't here for some of them, and some of this, maybe you don't remember the answers. I don't know.
This live stream's a bit like our greatest hits, isn't it?
It's our greatest hits,
or some.
That's why it's only going to be about 5 minutes. I keep messing around with fringe.
Almost hits.
I'm having a fringe problem.
Near misses. I'm
living life on the fringe. So,
right.
Mark is going to just do a few. What were the most interesting things that he liked about his own talks?
Significant bits.
There's nothing narcissistic about this.
There's a few little significant bits.
There's some significant bits that Mark's rather proud of, and he is going to remind us all of them in case we fell asleep.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Yeah, no.
So we're going to have a little quiz, and like I say, we got pictures this time. So back in the day, there was only a few live streams that I actually put the pictures in, but we got pictures this time, so it's going to be exciting. Well, we're going to have pictures if Mark remembers to press the button.
Yeah. Well, if I can get to the button.
Oh, and we're all going to see David Icke on Thursday, aren't we, Ben? We're going to see David Icke on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to give you that for the button in a minute. Yeah, it's going to be great. Have we got something planned, Ben? Because Connor's never been to Oxford, and I think he thinks that you're going to be a tour guide. So get something planned, something, but not too much walking for me, or at least walk past something that I can sit down on. But yeah, Thursday we're going to see David Icke in Oxford with Ben and a few of the other crew members, which is going to be brilliant. We still don't know where it is, though, do we, Ben? We still don't know where it is. Do you think it's at the university or something? Didn't he do? Connor said he did something at a university.
I can't imagine him getting in at Oxford University.
Nobody can hear you.
I can't imagine that, really.
No, I don't think it was the university. It was something to do with the university. Ben, where did he go last time when he was in Oxford? Ben will know.
Yeah, they keep it soon anyway.
They shut it down in Bath. It had to go to
Oxford
Bristol.
Union. Oh, right.
That's it, Oxford Union.
Oh, well, that is good.
Yeah. Right. Shall we get on with the quiz? Let's get on with the quiz, and then because Ben's got a live stream at 9, so we hopefully you can be like the Pied Piper, Ben, and just like get them all over onto your channel for your live stream at 9. So let's get on with it. It's just a bit of fun, and there's pictures. Don't forget when I give the answers to give. Okay.
Right.
We've been out and about today. That's why we're not very prepared, because we usually are.
Yeah.
Very prepared. Usually professional.
Yeah.
We've been out and about. We've been meeting local truthers. We've only done that. This is the 3rd time we've been to one of those meetups. So we're all a bit rushed.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Anyway, it's just to have a little check in with people, see how we're doing.
Yeah.
And
it gives me an excuse to play my new favourite song.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I've got to do the dog woof first. All right.
Ask a question, Liz.
Oh yeah, the question. What story? Pens on buzzers, please. That's not right.
No.
Fingers. So, like I say, most of these, probably the first 15, you've already been asked before.
So, for those who aren't familiar with the quiz, you can just
put
an abbreviation of the answer rather than A, B, C, or D. It's multiple choice, but just put a little brief thing that says, which answer you're going for.
So, just a brief word.
And you can jump in before the end of the question if you feel you
A,
know
B,
the
C,
answer.
D. No, don't do A, B, C, D. We get confused.
No, we don't do that.
No, we did do prizes, but I don't work anymore, so I've got no money. Right. So there's not going to be no prizes.
Right, get on with it.
Okay.
First question.
What story did H.P. Lovecraft co-write with Harry Houdini? Was it The Festival, Imprisoned with the Pharaohs, The Tomb, or The Lurking Fear? And this is the music we play. Just saying. Can't just put dunno, Ben. Come on, Johnny. Can't just be DJ versus Ben. Ben, are you going to write something? You can't just write, I don't know. I've given you options. All right, I'll guess The Tomb. Johnny, don't. The answer is Imprisoned by Pharaohs. I'm going to need to borrow that as well for me writing. Imprisoned with the Pharaohs fictionalizes an allegedly true story told to Lovecraft by escape artist Harry Houdini. After being kidnapped by a local tour guide who bears a striking resemblance to an ancient pharaoh, Harold Houdini is thrown in a deep pit next to the Great Sphinx. Whilst trying to break free, he happens across a large cave where he encounters the ancient god and inspiration for the Sphinx. Written in collaboration with Harry Houdini in February 1924. So, who got that, Mark? Nobody?
Nobody. That's interesting because...
Hold on. Come here.
All right.
Nobody.
Oh, I forgot we did that.
It's been a while since we've done that.
It's been a while, yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it.
It's interesting because there is like all this stuff coming out about cave systems underneath the Sphinx and the pyramids. And of course... good old Andrew Collins found this network system under there as well, known as Collins Cave.
Is it?
Yeah.
Collins Cave.
Yeah. It's
not our Colin.
Not our Colin, but I bet he's got a cave. No, that sounds dodgy, doesn't it?
Number 2. TL.
Carry on.
The Mothman was first mentioned in a newspaper on November the 16th, 1966. The headline read, "Couples see man-sized bird creature. Some of the following descriptions was not given to describe the being." Was not used to describe the being. It had 2 beaming red eyes. It had no head or arms. It had massive folded wings. It could move at 100 miles per hour. It was completely silent. Which one was not used to describe it? beaming red eyes, no head or arms, folded wings, moving at 100 miles per hour, which I can't say, or it was silent. Right, that'll do. Right, no head or arms, moving at 100 miles per hour. So the answer is it was completely silent.
Oh.
Make it bigger. It was said that the creature made a noise similar to a record played at high speed or squeak of a mouse. Nobody learned, Andy. Bloody hell, guys! These are all answers. These are all questions I've asked before. There's no bloody excuse. It must be the age. It must be their age. Must be their bloody age.
I have a feeling.
Right, number 3. In the Terminator film, what do they use to detect Terminators? Their sixth sense. God, I can't even speak. Magnets. Dogs. Smell. Yeah, DJ said they're all senile due to the chemtrails. That's not... God, they were bad today, mind. So, what detects the Terminators in the future? The sixth sense, magnets, dogs, or smell? Right, so the answer is dogs.
Oh, that's not a very nice way to talk about Sarah Connor.
So somebody actually got that one right.
Yes,
I think it was DJ.
It was DJ indeed.
Well done, DJ. So, oh crap! Don't look! Don't look! Don't look at the answers for the other one. That's why she's got a dog at the end when she's going off, because it's the dogs that can detect the Terminators. Interesting, isn't it? Because as we know, animals can detect things that we can't.
Yeah.
Ben, you can say that for all of us, can't you? Well, maybe not the first part. She used to be hot, but she looks awful now. Maybe not the first part. Linda Hamilton is in Resident Alien these days.
Oh.
What's that then?
No, is that a series? Is that something like Resident Evil or something?
Oh.
Is that yeah.
Some people age better than others.
Yeah.
I've yet to meet one. Oh yeah, but you like the older ladies, don't you, Ben? And I haven't just disclosed that because you disclose it on your channel. Anyway,
DJ says it is a TV show. Not aware of it, DJ, but any good?
So DJ won that one. Well done, DJ. Right, 4. Oh, I hope you didn't just see that because I literally...
No, keep going.
What is the uncanny valley? The perception of a recognizable image or meaningful pattern where none exists. For example, Jesus in a tortilla. A sense of unease in response to human-like robots. The ability to lose personal boundaries online and deviate from your normal behavior. So the uncanny valley. Is it seeing things like Jesus in a tortilla? Is it being creeped out by realistic robots? Or is it a keyboard warrior? You must remember this one. Right, so the answer is, it is, an unease of human-like robots.
Ben got that then.
There's an actual graph here. So when it's like Wally or whatever that thing's called on the left, we think that's cute. But when it's like that thing, it's terrifying. Yeah. So that's what the uncanny valley is. So this is taken from spectrum.ieee.org. Christ. The uncanny valley is a concept first introduced in the 1970s by Mashiaro Mori. Well done, Ben. Ben got that one right, by the way, Mark.
Yeah, I thought you said that.
Then a professor at the Tokyo Institute of Technology. Mori coined the term uncanny valley to describe his observation that as robots appear more human-like, they become more appealing, but only up to a certain point. Upon reaching the uncanny valley, our affinity descends into a feeling of strangeness, a sense of unease, and a tendency to be scared or freaked out. So the uncanny valley can be defined as people's negative reaction to certain lifelike robots. Any bloody robot. Never mind lifelike ones.
I suppose on that sort of graph, is it sort of saying, because when you get to the stage which they show in some films and stuff where they are completely lifelike, so you wouldn't know the difference, then obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah, like on Westworld sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So then you
just want to rape to that
level.
Oh,
well, you speak for yourself.
We're going to get kicked off now because I just said the word.
Oh dear,
it's horrible, that thing, that Westworld is horrible. Number 5. What was Project SEAL code for? A tsunami bomb, unidentified submerged object, subsea military base. Project SEAL. Unidentified submerged objects, so USOs, or subsea military bases. Right, so the answer is a tsunami bomb. Nice. So the tsunami bomb was an attempt during World War II to develop a tectonic weapon that could create destructive tsunamis. The project commenced after US Navy officer E.A. Gibson noticed small waves generated by explosions used to clear coral reefs. The idea was developed by the United States and New Zealand military in a program codenamed Project SEAL. The weapons concept was deemed feasible, but the weapons themselves were never fully developed or used. Tell that to people in bloody Florida. Yeah. We've got all this, but we'd never use it. Are you kidding me? No. DJ got that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, well done, DJ. And Ben, as you say, nutcases.
Yeah, absolutely nutcases.
But yeah, well done, DJ.
Number 6. Oh my goodness, this is a long one. I remember you getting this one right last time, Ben. What on earth is the Codex Alimentarius? Is it a secret club aligned with the Vatican? So is it a secret Vatican club? Is it codes to regulate pharmaceutical companies? Is it guidance on how to infiltrate protests? So is it secret Vatican club, pharmaceutical regulations, or agent provocateur guidelines? And they exist. Yeah. Looks like most people know this one. So it is the recommendations relating to food production and safety labelling. So the Codex Alimentarius, or Food Code, is a compilation of safety guidelines and handling standards published by a branch of the World Health Organization. Of course it is. It contains general principles that are agreed upon by most health professionals, such as how meat should be processed and the dangers of pesticides. They're dangerous, but have them anyway. For God's, do you know what I mean? I don't even have strawberries now. Apparently strawberries are the worst thing for soaking up pesticides. So with fruit, what you're supposed to do, it's a ball ache. I don't even have strawberries because it's so much of a ball ache. You've got to soak them in bicarbonate of soda for 15 minutes to get most of the pesticides out. And you do that with a strawberry and it turns into like a gloopy thing. So I don't even have strawberries anymore. So there's dangers of pesticides, but we're going to use them anyway. As well as more specific instructions for the collection of testing samples and statistical analysis. Now, why do we know this? Well, you've already been writing about it in the chat, I expect. It's because Ian R. Crane wrote a book about it.
I have been talking about it, indeed.
So Ian's book is called Codex Alimentarius, the UN Plan to Eradicate Organic Farming and Destroy the Natural Health Industry by Ian R. Crane. Addresses this. And this is some blurb I found about it. So part of the New World Order agenda is to remove the requirement for food labelling and to restrict and ultimately prohibit the sale of natural health products. Doing it. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the Codex Alimentarius Commission are the United Nations and the World Health Organization, working in conjunction with the multinational pharmaceutical cartel and international banks. You sound like a conspiracy theorist, Liz. Put your hat on. It is now a criminal offence in parts of Europe to sell herbs as foods. So you can't sell some herbs as foods, but you can put aspartame, which gives you brain tumours, in Coke. Just saying. An agreement called EEC 6565 equates selling herbs as foods to selling other illegal drugs. Action is being taken to accelerate bringing other European countries into harmonisation. I read somewhere now, I think it's in this country, I think it is, that if you're going to have a chicken, you've got to register it. You've got to register your chicken because they don't want you actually being able to provide food for yourself. And is it Aldi or something? They're literally implementing the bugs. You shall eat the bugs so that poor people can have protein. Sorry, stop making chicken £400. Let us have a chicken. Let us have a chicken. And then you won't have to give us bugs, you fucking bellends. Moving on. Well done, DJ. I think DJ got there.
Yeah, just ahead of Ben. It was pretty much.
Yeah, well done, though, guys. I'm just having a
you.
drink. I got on my high horse and it pisses me right off.
You get on your
I don't have strawberries these days because of that. I'm on my high horse. It's quite a high one. What's the matter with the weather today? We've had the bloody heating on all day, and then it was a bloody heat wave.
Well, I think it's hot in the sunshine, isn't it? When you're out,
it is
with
hot
the
in
sun
the
on
sunshine.
you, but we're permanently in the shade in this house.
What's going on in the sky as well? Last night we saw two triangle stars. Star, star, star in a triangle. Star, star, star in a triangle. Gigantic triangle. Just going over our fucking house. And then Mark saw a shooting star. It's like what I saw a few weeks ago. I saw 11 moving stars and two shooting stars going into the Milky Way. I'm not joking. If you stand outside my house and look up on a clear night, you are going to see something moving at this precise moment in time. I can't look in the sky without seeing something moving at the moment. Moving on. See what I did there? 7. In 1974, whilst in New York, John Lennon saw a UFO. Which song was the sighting immortalised in? Was it Nobody Told Me, God, Out of the Blue, Whatever Gets You Through the Night? Nobody Told Me, God, Out of the Blue, Whatever Gets You Through the Night. went a bit loud.
Mm.
Right, so the answer is nobody told. Oh, there's the Codex Alimentarius. I forgot to do it.
Oh.
I think we both. There's the book that we were talking about. The UN plan to eradicate organic farming and to destroy the natural health industry.
Getting older.
Get hold of it, babe.
Yeah.
So you all got this wrong last time, I can remember. So it is, the answer is nobody told me. And here's a little quote from John Lennon. It says, if the masses started to accept UFOs, it would profoundly affect their attitudes towards life, politics, everything. It would threaten the status quo. Whenever people come to realise that there are larger considerations than their own petty little lives, they are ripe to make radical changes on a personal level, which would eventually lead to a political revolution in society as a whole. Awesome.
Well, we've got to do something.
Have we got to do something?
Yeah.
What have we got to do?
Because nobody
nobody learned Andy. Right, hold on. A line in the song is, there's UFOs over New York and I ain't too surprised. On the cover of John Lennon's album Walls and Bridges, the following odd inscription. So this is the inscription. On the 23rd of August, 1974 at 9 o'clock, I saw a UFO. Lennon said he saw a thing with ordinary electric light bulbs flashing on and off around the bottom. One non-blinking red light on top, around 100 foot away, hovering over an adjacent building. Right, number 8. In November 1910, 6 men met at an exclusive club and laid the foundations for the Federal Reserve. Which club did they attend? Bilderberg, Club of Rome, Skull and Bones, Jekyll Island, Bohemian Grove. I reckon you'll all know this one. My friends will all know this one. They're very intelligent people. Bilderberg, Club of Rome, Skull and Bones, Jekyll Island, Bohemian Grove. I bloody love this song. Polly was an anxious goat. She's only calm when she wears her duck costume. That's my song.
Doing it live.
I'm doing it live.
Yeah.
Shall I stop now?
Yeah.
Was there anybody above Ben?
Nope.
Right, so the answer is Jekyll Island.
Well done, Ben.
Well done, Ben. So, oh, hold on, here we go. Push him out. There we go. Nelson Aldrich, A. Piat Andrew, Henry Davison, Arthur Shelton, Frank Vanderlip, and Paul Warburg met at Jekyll Island Club off the coast of Georgia to write a plan to reform the nation's banking system. The meeting and its purpose were closely guarded secrets, and participants did not admit that the meeting occurred until the 1930s. But the plan written on Jekyll Island laid a foundation for what would eventually be the evil Federal Reserve System. I said evil, that wasn't on the thing. Okay, mature Liz. Number 9. On the 23rd of September 1979, a half dozen primary school children went for an evening walk in Woollerton Park in Nottingham. What did they encounter? 12 large winged creatures without faces, 60 gnomes in tiny cars, a giant saber-toothed rabbit, gnomes in cars, winged creatures without faces, or a giant saber-toothed rabbit.
Well, Ben should definitely get this one.
He should definitely get this one. He got this one last time. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes. In cars. Gnomes. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. The gnomes. In car. Oh, that's enough of that. Ben got gnomes in cars.
Well, seeing as you were singing it for about half the...
It's because I fitted the music very well.
I remember Ben talking about it though. He saw a presentation of it.
Oh, don't look! Don't look! Don't look! Don't look! Don't look! Oh no!
Christ.
doing rubbish with the pictures.
If it was me doing that,
I would have
right
a
old trouble,
fit.
wouldn't I?
Yeah, I'd have a complete fit if you were doing
noddy,
that.
DJ, wasn't it?
It was noddy.
Parallel universe noddy.
So, the Woollerton Gnomes were a classic anomalous encounter. The 23rd of September 1979, a half-dozen primary school children went for an evening walk in Woollerton Park in Nottingham. A number of these children then saw 30 small cars, each with a gnome driver and passenger. The encounter lasted, according to the children, about 15 minutes. As the gnome cars chased them around the park, the kids eventually escaped out into the surrounding streets, where the gnomes declined to follow them.
That is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I've done a lot of reading about that.
And what's your conclusion?
Well, I don't have a conclusion, but some people say because there was older and younger kids, the younger kids were just copying what the older kids were saying. But anyway, it's still bonkers. Number 10. In Blade Runner, what is the Tyrrell Corporation's motto? Now, if you've got really good eyes, you would have just seen it, because I just put the next picture on because I'm an idiot. So, in Blade Runner, what is the Tyrrell Corporation's motto? Your dreams made real. Machines for man. More human than human. Your dreams made real. Machines for man. More human than human. Blade Runner. Gnomes. Gnomes. Gnomes in cars. They saw gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. They saw gnomes in cars. Shall I stop?
Yeah, well, it could be. That's your B-side.
That's my B-side. Exactly the same music. Ah!
Oh, Christ.
So the answer is more human than human. Well done.
Yeah, Ben again.
Ben
well done,
is
Ben,
on a roll. He's on a roll.
So Johnny Fetter says lots of magic mushrooms in Woolly Park, so you've got local knowledge there.
That's
Johnny.
probably true.
So yeah, Ben got that one again. Well done. Yeah, long time since I watched it.
I'm having a problem with my fringe today. I'm gonna put it in for Bath Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
I might win something. I got no information on that one.
All right,
moving on.
There's not really much information.
Not much information.
Well done, Ben. You're doing
well done, Ben.
In Don Duranorak, your tinfoil anorak.
Don Duranorak.
Yeah.
Denver Airport is weird as hell. Yeah. Literally, murals of genocide, dead children, crying babies, and Nazi-like soldiers adorn its walls. Gargoyles, Masonic plaques, underground bunkers delight and terrify travellers. But the most striking and biggest oddity is a giant 32-foot blue Mustang, horse not car, rearing up with terrifying red glowing eyes. What has it locally become known as? Big Joe, the Fourth Horseman, Lucifer, Terrifying Ted. Big Joe, the Fourth Horseman, Lucifer, Terrifying Ted. Gnomes in cars.
Maybe you should go back to Polly the Anxious Goat.
Gnomes in cars. Gnomes. They saw the gnome cars. They saw the gnomes in cars. I'm delighting myself. I'll stop.
This is recording career. You'll see.
I'm absolutely delighting myself. I'm delighting myself. I'm quite enamoured with my own self.
Well, someone is.
How bloody rude! Right. So the answer is. Let's have a little look at that. No. Who wants that? Lucifer, which is inspired. I think Ben got that one as well. Ben, Ben's not on the wine tonight. You can tell. Ben, you can tell.
Well, no, he's keeping himself.
He's keeping himself.
He's got his own live stream.
He's got his own live stream at 9 o'clock, so he's keeping himself sober. Yeah. Ben, it's showing. Yeah. It's showing in the quiz.
Glowing.
You're doing well. Look at it.
Is that the horse sculpture that killed its creator? Oh, there was something about that, Johnny's saying.
Yeah, I'm going to read it out.
Oh, she's going to read it out, Johnny.
The artist, J. Jimenez, was killed at age 65 in his studio in Hondo, New Mexico, when one of the sculpture's 3 sections came loose from a hoist, pinning him against a steel support beam and severing an artery in his leg. He bled to death on his studio floor before being declared dead on arrival at the nearest hospital. So that thing there, what? And then they went back and spoke to the family, and the family said, "Yeah, finish it, nutters."
Yeah. I mean,
talk about sacrifice.
Well, yeah. I mean that is exactly that is almost exactly like scenes from Omen, the first 2 Omen films. There's exactly scenes like that when a beam falls down and cuts people's heads off, or
oh my god,
spears them against something, crushes them against something. I mean,
I've got goosebumps. Terrifying, horrible bloody thing. I don't think I'd ever go to that airport because of that nonsense. 12. There's no clues for this one. You should all know this one. What is the 4th state of matter? 4th state of matter. I don't know, and he don't matter. Brilliant.
Oh, Johnny's been working on.
Well, go careful.
Yeah.
There were some gnomes. Gnomes in cars. There were some gnomes in cars. There were some gnomes. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes, cars. Oh, Johnny Fettler, he's a bit of a sculptor and an artist in many ways, isn't
Christ. He? Right, the answer is plasma.
Yeah.
Plasma, for anybody.
Well done, DJ.
Well done, DJ. Plasma is one of the 4 fundamental states of matter. The other being solid, liquid, and gas, characterized by the presence of a significant portion of charged particles in any combination of ions or electrons. The least well-known state of matter is, paradoxically, also the most prevalent. 99.99% of the visible universe, including stars and intergalactic matter, is in a state of plasma. Now go and listen to Jay Widener's latest video on it's probably not his latest one, but this was written a while ago. So Jay Widener's video on reality checks entitled "Are the Elohim Actually Plasma Beings?" He speaks about the book The Naked Bible by Maro Biglino. That's how we say it, Bellino, but we call it Biglino. And A New Science of Heaven by Robert Temple. But he's not the only one that's did a video on that, is he, Mark Froud?
No.
Mark Froud has done a talk on this also. So go and have a look at the live streams playlist if you haven't seen it, and have a look at our Mark's.
Well, our Mark also talked about Big Lino, didn't he?
He talked about Big Lino as well.
Yeah, so it's all coming together.
It's all coming together, Mark.
Good if it would work seamlessly if I talked about that in my talk afterwards.
It'd be seamless if my fringe sorted itself out.
But Johnny, it was still sculptures, very impressive, and we've seen some of your art.
Oh, Johnny sent us the pictures of his art, and it's absolutely brilliant. And yes, I do think the studs, keep the studs in the middle of that, the 3rd one, Johnny.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I love him.
Very talented, my friend. Look forward to seeing more.
13.
Big Lino is suppressing marble tiles. I like that bit. Very good, sir.
Osiris is best known as the Egyptian god of the underworld. What colour skin was the ruler of the dead always portrayed as having? Osiris. What colour? You do it this time.
Gnomes in cars.
A bit louder.
Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars.
There were some gnomes. There were in cars. There were some gnomes. There were some gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. There were some gnomes in cars. Louder.
Cars.
Ah! Seriously, right? When we're not in front of the camera, as it were, we still do shit like this. Singing gnomes in cars. I want a T-shirt for Christmas with that. Seriously, when we're not doing this, we are doing this just without people looking at us. So good. Can I clip that for me own Panru radio quiz? Yes, you bloody well can. It's about time you got our singing career took off, Ben.
Yeah.
Yes, you bloody well can. Right. The answer, did anybody say, is green?
DJ first with the
Woo!
green. Yeah, well done, DJ.
There he is. So this is taken from my... Oh, no, not my nerd. Myth Nerd, Liz. Okay. .com, not my nerd. Osiris was green because of the aspects of the world he controlled as the god of agriculture and resurrection. Green symbolized fertility to the Egyptians, so it made sense to them that a god who was buried and grew again from the earth would also be green. This is taken from chemitology.com. Osiris, Osir or Wizard, is the original green man. He is the land and the earth in his representation of mankind, migrating through cycles of consciousness. He is a seed, self, sun, and universe, enabling consciousness to express itself as a manifestation in the physical, earthly realm. As such, he is associated with all phases of agricultural processes and to the symbolism of the tree of life. He is expressed as green in many depictions to represent these associations and their relationship to the fertility of the earth, his dual feminine aspect. It is through the portal of our solar plexus, the lion's gate, and our true heart center that we traverse the dimensions from spirit to matter, from unity consciousness to individuated consciousness, and back again. This is the hero's journey that is likened to the path of the sun across the sky.
Interesting.
And that's not nut as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Whatever
that's
it
got,
is.
yeah. Mari's in the house.
Mari's in the house.
Came in at the
Mari, we've
moment.
got a new song for you. You're going to be so excited. We've got a new song for Mari. She's going to love it. Right.
So yeah.
Who got that one? DJ. Well done, DJ.
Well done. Ben, yeah, the Woolpit kids. Very interesting. Yeah. Green kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that because of in the breeding in the end, or was that the blue ones? There is some colour that people go if they interbreed.
It might be a genetic thing, I think. And something to do with things consumed. Different theories.
Things consumed
that might have caused the green pigmentation.
Oh.
But I can't remember the facts of it.
No.
Ben may enlighten us, but
another
day. It will
14.
Carry on.
One of the reasons stated for Friday the 13th being unlucky is that it is the date that the Knights Templars were arrested and executed. But which year was this? 1307, 1297, 1313, 1211. You could type this in there for help people.
Oh, by the time I've done that, you'd be finished.
Get it in there. 1307, 1297, 1313, 1211. Mari, listen to this. She's going to love it. We got to both sing it though. Gnomes in cars. There were some gnomes. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. They said there's gnomes. They said there's gnomes in the cars. There's gnomes in the cars. Gnomes.
Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars.
Okay, I think we forgot we were live streaming then. If we get copyright for this.
What, for Gnomes in Cars? Yeah, that famous hit single.
David Bowie, wasn't it?
It will be. It will be. Oh, yeah.
The things we do to entertain ourselves. But seriously, we literally do this sort of thing even when there aren't people watching.
Yeah.
That's what we
There's
do.
probably no people watching anymore.
But Mark said there's probably no people watching anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, the things we do to entertain ourselves. We've
Right.
actually got a disco light in our kitchen.
Right.
I was dancing to the Bee Gees this morning.
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Mark opened the door and I was dancing to the Bee Gees.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised.
He wasn't surprised
No,
at all.
indeed not. I'm
Right.
more surprised he weren't dismissed. But carry on.
Right. Did any? No, I think they were too shocked.
No, I put the 4 options in.
And nobody put any of them.
No, people had already done it. People had already put the answers. That was completely superfluous. What I bloody did.
Oh, the answer is 1307. Did anybody get it right?
Yeah, Ben just beat DJ with the right answer.
Oh, well done,
there.
everybody.
Yeah.
As mentioned earlier, I don't think I have mentioned it earlier. I think I've missed one out.
That was probably you mentioned it earlier, like 6 months ago.
No. I wrote this yesterday.
Oh.
Anyway,
right.
I thought I'd mentioned it earlier, but I don't think I have. French King Philip V the Fair ordered the mass arrest of Knights Templar in the Kingdom of France. Even the Grand Master of the Order, the famed Jacques de Molay, was arrested in Paris, together with 60 of his knights. So, 1307. Well done, everybody. Who was first, sorry? DJ?
Ben.
Oh,
it was
well done,
it was one of those, they're finding it out between
Ben's
themselves.
sober, honestly. You're on it when you're sober, Ben. Right. Hold on. There they are. That's them being burnt at the stake.
Yeah,
lovely.
Nice little picture. For
lovely little picture for you. Look at him there. He's like, it's nothing to do with me. Him on the left. He's like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Don't blame me. Funny little face, isn't there? Right, 15. David Percy noticed the similarities between Avebury Stone Circle and where in 1991? The constellation of the Pleiades, Cydonia on Mars, the Sea of Tranquility on the Moon. Avebury, what's it the same as? Pleiades, Cydonia, Sea of Tranquility. You can do it solo this time. Get a bit closer.
No. Gnomes. In cars. Your gnomes. In cars. 4 wheels, 6 wheels, 2 wheels, all sorts of cars.
All the cars.
Your gnomes.
Where were the gnomes?
In cars.
Where were the gnomes? Where were the gnomes? Where were the gnomes?
Cars.
We're in cars. The gnomes.
In cars.
Not in planes.
No. Cars.
Not in planes.
Cars.
Should we stop?
Gnomes. You could do like a mashup.
I am.
You could, we have mashed up.
We have
a
mashed
mashup
it
of David Bowie's Anthony Newley era Laughing Gnome.
That's why I thought of David Bowie, the Laughing Gnome.
With Gary Newman, Cars. Dubray Army.
Yeah, we could.
So I think.
Me. Gnomes in cars.
The Laughing Gnome in cars.
The things we find amusing.
Oh my god!
What we doing?
There's an answer coming. I expect.
Answer? What to?
It's click the thing and you might see a picture which will give you the clue.
Did anybody get this one?
Yeah.
You better have done because I just put a picture up about it.
Yeah.
It's not gnomes in cars.
No.
It's stones on Mars.
Oh,
hey!
Good
Come
one.
on.
Yeah, that was David Bowie's first idea for his band.
Look at this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So on the left is Mars and on the right is Avebury. And look down the bottom, there's Silbury Hill. Yeah. And then at the top there is Avebury Stone Circle, biggest stone circle in the world. Mm-hmm. So you've got, I can't remember what they call it, but if you go onto this website, can you type this in, aulis.com/Mars? I don't know if you've got to write www. Connor used to call it 3 W's and a dot. Mm-hmm. www. Whatever that word is.
14:1 scale, Ben says.
Oh. So go on that website and have a look, because it tells you all about what's going on, and it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, seriously, go and have a look at that. It's bloody brilliant. 16.
Yeah.
Which tree symbolizes rebirth, hope, serenity, and peace? Is it the beech, the white oak, the black walnut, weeping willow? Rebirth, hope, serenity, peace. Is it beech, white oak, black walnut, weeping willow? I forgot it. It's just brilliant, this tune. It's the best tune I've ever found on a kid's toy, and I have looked quite extensively.
Yeah.
Did Johnny get the last one right?
I think Ben was first. Yeah, Ben was first, then DJ, then Johnny.
So the answer is the white oak.
You've got a picture, have you?
Yeah. Oh, well done, well done, well done, babe. Well
That's
done.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of all the trees in Britain and Ireland, the oak is considered king, famed for its endurance and longevity. Even today, with strength and steadfastness in the popular mind. Even John Evelyn, in his Silver, or A Discourse of Forest Trees, calls it the pride and glory of the forest. And in the fairy faith in Celtic countries, Evans Wens proclaims that the oak is preeminently the holy tree of Europe. In the classical world, it was regarded as the tree of life, as its deep roots penetrate as deep into the underworld as its branches soar to the sky. And it was held sacred to Zeus and Jupiter. In Scandinavia, the oak was the tree of the thunder god Thor, as it was to his Finnish counterpart, Jumala. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, 17. Some people think we're...
Oh, that was just to say that was...
Christ.
Sorry, just to say Mari got that one right.
Oh, well sorry, Mari. Well done, Mari.
Yeah, good work. Just beat Johnny to it on the oak.
Well done. Some people think we're either close to coming out of or already out of the Kali Yuga. Now, Ben, if you get this one wrong again, I'm going to kick off. Every time you do a presentation, Ben, you get the wrong Yuga, and I shout at the screen. Which Yuga comes next, or are we currently in? Dvapara, Treta, Satya, Ben. I'm looking at you. What comes... Are we currently in, I think? I don't think we're coming out. I think we're out of Kali. That's why we're all waking up, because we are starting to... So is it Dvapara, Treta, or Satya, Ben?
Gnomes. Get on the gnomes.
Gnomes.
In cars. Get gnomes. In cars.
Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. Your gnomes.
Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars and gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. Little men in cars.
Gnomes in cars.
Tiny little guys.
Physically challenged people in automobiles. That's the David Byrne version. I'm sure.
David Byrne version.
Yeah, physically challenged.
In automobiles.
In automobiles.
Right, Ben, me and you, I'm meeting you on Thursday. We're going to have a word.
Oh, dear.
Ben, it is not
blimey.
Satya.
Oh, Christ.
It's Dvapara.
Oh, Ben.
And you're going to have to go back to all of your talks on this. Every time you do a talk and you say we're going to Satya, I literally scream at the screen. I do a scream. No, Ben, it isn't. And I told you this last time. But I think you were on the bevies last time. You didn't listen to me. It's Dvapara. You need to amend your PowerPoint presentation so that I don't break my computer.
Scream.
Yes, scream. Yeah, Ben, it's Vipara. Please.
Mari got it.
Sort your bloody self out.
Well done, Mari. You've come in late, Mari, but you already.
Mari knows her
trying to catch
stuff
up,
mind.
make up
Mari
lost time.
knows her stuff mind.
Oh, she does know her stuff.
She does know her
Oh,
stuff.
I know that.
See, what is funny is 2 people came numbers when we were shouting Gnomes in Cars.
And then they went off again.
And then they fucked off again. And then they fucked off again. That must have been confusing, though.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, if they've never seen us before,
I don't care.
probably expect it, really. So.
I don't think people expect it because the people that came in after you, Mark did a really professional 3-hour.
I don't know about professional.
It was professional.
Oh.
Mark did a really professional 3-hour talk last week. I never got involved, never even showed my face. We get loads of subscribers. They've come back to see Mark. They've got me shouting about Gnomes in Cars.
Well, yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares?
So, to Vipara, Ben, seriously sort your presentations out, or we're going to bloody fall out. Into Vipara Yuga, the energy age, mankind would comprehend the fine matters and electricity's underlying matter. I personally think this correlates to the books mentioned above by Jay Weidner and the research into plasma, etc. And guess what? Into Vipara, so when we're in Kali, we don't know our worth. So we, excuse me, we think that royalty is a thing and we're peasants and we tip our like forelock or whatever it is to, we sort of know our place in Kali. We sort of think, okay, we're down here. Yes, of course, God's ordained on earth. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But when you go out of Kali into Vipara, you go, hold on a minute. I'm a conscious sentient being. Nobody's above me, nobody's below me. I don't need any of this nonsense. And I think because that's happening, and that is what is happening to the consciousness, they're shitting a brick. So they have to put a lid on it as quickly as they can. That's the great awakening. There we go. Moving on. Not anymore, Liz. No, mate. Absolutely not. No. Right, 18. The Lost Child.
Ooh.
Now, I did this one for Mark because Mark's got a book called
The Lost Child.
He has.
Not Gnomes in Cars. The Lost Child. Indeed.
Oh, Albatross, Johnny. That was my mum's favourite song. We played that at a funeral, didn't we?
Yeah. A lot of emotion to that one.
Yeah. So, The Lost Child. In the little hamlet of Treonike, in the parish of St. Alan, has long lingered the story of a lost child who was subsequently found. All the stories agree in referring the abduction of the child to supernatural agency. So they don't know if this is true, but it's definitely a story that is told for years in this town in St. Alan. A child was abducted by a supernatural agency. Did they say abducted this child? Aliens, Piskies, Bigfoot, Hillary Clinton, eh? Oh,
Gnomes in Cars.
Gnomes in Cars. So, aliens, Piskies, Bigfoot, Hillary Clinton, who is said to have
Abducted.
Oh, I've just bashed it unnecessarily. Abducted the poor little child. Right, that'll do. Bunch of pissheads on the way back from the pub, correct. And the leader was called Hillary. So the answer is... Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, there's a Yugas. Look, Ben! Look at the screen right now. Look at it. Satya's right at the top. We're basically in Atlantis when we're in Satya, Ben. We got to go through Vipara and Treta. Ben, are you looking at the screen? Is he looking at the screen?
Well, probably because he's answering.
You need to remind me to do the pictures. I keep.
All right, sorry. Yeah, you were getting on one.
So look, we're down now onto Vipara, but we're ascending. We're not descending. And this is why there's amazing buildings that we can't do now, because they were all built as we were ascending up. But then we descended down and all the knowledge, and then we turned into bloody idiots again. It's the consciousness, whether or not we're closer or further away from what the Hindus call Brahma, because they reckon it's like colloidal shape. Is that right? Like a donut shape. And we're going round and round Brahma, and the closer we are to it, the more enlightened our. So up we go, and then down, but we're going up. So we are becoming more enlightened. See it, Ben? Ben!
He's taking a screenshot, he says.
Fan-bloody-tastic. Where'd you get Satya from? Anyway, moving on. The answer is Piskies! Because Piskies are Cornish fairies. You know, the phenomenon of fairies or aliens, or I think it's all the same thing, taking on a different form. Cornish folklore for the phenomenon of the little people. So piskies. You can buy these. You go to Cornwall and they're just like billions of these little things that you can buy. I got this from a website called sites.pit.edu. It says, Mr. Howells has given one version of this story which differs in some respects from the tale as I heard it. This is from a website. From an old woman some 30 years since, who then lived in the parish. Her tale was to the following effect. It was a lovely evening, and the little boy was gathering flowers in the fields near a wood. The child was charmed by hearing some beautiful music, which he at first mistook for the song of birds. But being a sharp boy, he was not long deceived, and he went towards the wood to ascertain from whence the melodious sounds came. When he reached the verge of the wood, the music was of an exquisite character, that he was compelled to follow the sound, which appeared to travel before him. Lured in this way, the boy penetrated to the dark centre of the grove, and here, meeting with some difficulties, owing to the thick growth of the underwood, he paused and began to think of returning. The music, however, became more ravishing than before, and some invisible being appeared to crush down all the low and tangled plants, thus forming for him a passage over which he passed without any difficulty. At length he found himself on the edge of a small lake, and greatly to his astonishment, the darkness of night was around him. But the heavens were thick with stars. The music ceased, and wearied with his wanderings, the boy fell asleep on a bed of ferns. He related on his restoration to his parents that he was taken by a beautiful lady through palaces of the most gorgeous description. Pillars of glass supported arches which glistened with every colour, and these were hung with crystals far exceeding anything which were ever seen in the caverns of a Cornish mine. It is, however, stated that many days passed away before the child was found by his friends, and that at length he was discovered one lovely morning sleeping on the bed of ferns on which he was supposed to have fallen asleep on the first adventurous evening. There was no reason given by the narrator why the boy was spirited away in the first instance, or why he was returned. Her impression was that some sprites, pleased with the child's innocence and beauty, had entranced him, that when asleep he had been carried through the waters to the fairy abodes beneath them, and she felt assured that a child so treated would be kept under the special guardianship of the sprites forever. Of this, however, tradition leaves us in ignorance.
Oh, good story, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, it reminds me of the
Bit louder, maybe.
Yeats. Is it called The Lost Child? I can't remember now. But anyway, I did the around the legends of fairies in Ireland. So very similar thing to the best, like taking kids away and stuff.
Who won that one then?
So that was Mari.
Well done, Mari.
And apparently, you may have Cornish heritage, Mari. Apparently, interesting. So yeah.
Watch out for them piskies.
Johnny says, I think they have them in Lincolnshire too.
Oh, what, piskies?
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, like.
Are you sure it's piskies? Because I know they're Cornish.
But But like it says, I think there's different places have different forms of the same thing, or it's these sort
Oh,
of
Mari
different
thinks it was DJ that got it right. Are you getting it wrong again?
actual-
You can't be trusted.
Jay.
Where is he? Oh, sometimes we get that thing where we can't see other people's some people's posts.
Well, okay. I wonder if DJ disappeared. I can't see him posting for a little while in the chat.
So
Can you
was it
see him
DJ Mari? Because we can't see DJ's post at the moment. It does that
That's
sometimes.
crazy.
It does do that sometimes. Well done, DJ. But
Yeah.
sorry, mate, we can't see you for some weird reason.
That's so strange.
Yeah, it is weird. Maybe refresh it. But I can't see it on mine either. Well done, DJ. Have a look, Mari. Right, 19. And then Mark's going to do his little talk. Don't forget, Ben's got a live stream at 9. So we'll try and get it wrapped up by then. What colour is the heart chakra? No clues. Heart chakra, go. DJ Mari says, well done, DJ. Sorry we can't see your post. I don't know what's going on. You've got loads of tabs open. Oh, you need them. Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right, Ben. What colour is the heart chakra? Oh! Oh. Gnomes. We are literally going to... Oh!
That weren't me.
That wasn't me either.
No.
Right.
I've lost everything now, and I've lost my chat completely now.
Right, Johnny's put white. Mari's put green. Well done, Mari. Heart chakra is green. There it is. In all its glory. So it is the colours of the rainbow starting from the bottom. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Richard of York gained battle in vain. So that's how you remember it. Right. 20. Which Shakespeare play was this taken from? All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. Which Shakespeare play was this taken from? All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Was it from As You Like It, The Taming of the Shrew, The Tempest, Midsummer Night's Dream? As You Like It, The Taming of the Shrew, The Tempest, Midsummer Night's Dream. Johnny's buffering again.
Yeah, well, I think I've got
Mark's
the chat.
buffering.
I've got the chat back, but
Chat back. Mari can't remember. As You Like It, Taming of the Shrew, Tempest, Midsummer Night's Dream. Has DJ written something and we can't see it again? Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Right, so the answer is As You Like It. Nobody learned, Andy. Right, so As You Like It. Now. That's just Shakespeare, but that is also the cover of Mark's thumbnail of Mark's talk on William Shakespeare in the live stream playlist. So you might have heard it, but it was a very good one.
Thank you very much.
So go and listen to Mark's talk if you want. It's your life. Don't let me tell you what to do.
Oh dear.
Right, Mark Froud.
Right, right. Well,
Johnny missed that. Get your ass over there, but after Ben's live stream.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, just to let you know, I think Ben just shaded it.
Oh, well done, Ben.
That was just just ahead of DJ.
Just ahead of DJ.
Although I did lose DJ in some sort of time warp.
We lost DJ in a time warp.
So, you know, but
maybe he was taken away by the Piskies.
Could be it. Could be it. Mari came storming in.
She did storm. She was pretty stormy.
And came close as well.
Yeah.
But I think Ben just...
Well done, Ben. Right, everybody give Ben an interesting emoji. No prize this time, Ben. No prize.
I'll buy you a pen.
A pen?
A pen.
Mark will buy you a pen. Mark's going to buy you a pen.
I'll buy you a biro and a pint when I see you.
See you on Thursday, Ben. And Mark's going to buy you a pen. No idea.
All right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think we'll give Ben a treat, a little song.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, you
get closer.
Why don't you Polly the thingy goat?
Oh, Maury hasn't heard that one.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just you got like world premiere.
I can't remember how it goes.
Freeform.
This is an actual real song I've done, Maury, and it's about a true story. Polly the anxious goat is only calm when she's in her duck costume. Duck costume. Duck costume. Duck costume. You get the Gnomes. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars.
Where are the gnomes?
In cars.
What are in cars?
Gnomes.
That's enough. That's absolutely brilliant, and we are going to make it a true, a proper song. Yeah. Ben, we definitely want you to clip that and use it because it's probably our finest moment.
Honoured.
It's probably our finest moment.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Right. I'm going to pass Big Mike over to Little Mark.
Now, pictures. You might try and freeform.
Oh Christ! Hold on a minute. Hold on, everybody.
Oh blimey!
I've got to get rid of that sharing.
It's very exciting.
I'm going to get rid of that sharing.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then all of a sudden we're huge. I'm having a fringe problem. Look at the state of it. What's going on?
As long as it's only a fringe problem and not a major central problem.
And so I am going to share that.
What was that? Warping, distorted background. It's quite trippy, isn't it?
I don't like it.
Looks like we're in an episode of the Tomorrow People or something. Not ever watched that. Funny enough.
Right. Stop screen. Right.
Shall I start rabbiting
not
on?
Yet.
Yeah, but it's not that.
Not yet.
Is that not?
Share screen. Don't you hear me? I want this one. Bear with, because we went out with actual real people today. We saw real truthers. We're very, very unorganized.
Yeah. But do you mind if I just start?
All right, Mark's going to start.
I'll just start talking a little bit,
all right,
and then
grab him, because
it's going to be a waffle situation anyway.
No, it can't be.
I want a waffle now.
We've got to be a little bit quick, because.
Yeah, no. I mean waffling quickly. So anyway, it just really carrying on a little bit from what I was talking about last week, which was also referring back to previous talks, but I'm intrigued by this sort of repeating legend myths through time, so many different societies and ages, but this idea where there's a sort of rival, so there's like a major god stroke king who's the great ruler sort of thing, and then he gets attacked, wounded, or killed by some rival, and then tied up around this is ideas of death and then resurrection, maybe either a renewal, so there's a new king, or something where there's a rebirth of the original king or ruler. So talking last week and a few weeks ago about how those legends come through into the Grail legends, you know, which came through the Mabinogion, or however you pronounce it, the old Celtic Welsh tales, and then into these King Arthur legends around the Grail. but it seems to go, you know, right back. Well, I'm sure it goes even further back than that. But the legend of Osiris, as talked about in Liz's quiz, but so they, as a lot of people be aware, the Osiris myth. So the one of, if not the most sort of influential stories in ancient Egyptian mythology. You want water?
Yeah.
All right, I need to go.
Pass me your glass. I'll drink yours.
All right. So that says the murder of the god Osiris, this primeval king of Egypt, and the murderer is his brother Set. So you've got this idea of either the rival brother or stroke evil adversary. And this was talked about by Ted Hughes as being what he saw as a formula as well for Shakespeare's plays, particularly his tragedies, and how they developed that. And you had this sort of noble warrior type or king, and then there was some other protagonist who was a colleague and a brother, but then rivaled him and got jealous, and was able to do away with him. Or often in those plays it came in the form of like instigating some sort of mind manipulation to warp this guy and turn him bad, turning the noble guy bad. So in the Osiris myth, his wife Isis restores her husband's body, allowing him to posthumously conceive their son Horus. And then after that, there's a story about Horus, who's comes from Isis and Osiris, and is a vulnerable child to begin with, protected by his mother, and then becomes Set's rival for the throne. So there's a violent conflict, and then Horus triumphs over Set. So then you've got sort of that rival battle goes back the other way, and you have Horus doing away with the nasty Set, and he sort of becomes the rival, and then he becomes the new king. So that restores Mart. I don't know, it's probably pronounced wrong. MAAT, the cosmic and social order to Egypt after Set's unrighteous reign. So I thought this was probably where you got all the origins, all these ideas of, as I say, that go through to King Arthur, and beyond that, where there's a wounded king or a king that's somehow gone weak, and then the land and the whole the country or the world.
Yeah, Fisher King.
Yep, absolutely. Ben, oh yes, I've been talking about that in previous
oh yeah, he's been going on
talks.
Banging on about that.
But absolutely, but yeah, so it seems to go well back, and I'm sure that the origins of these Egyptian ones probably have got stems, you know, even further back in time than that. But it seems very much that's a primordial myth that's just reverberating.
Literally, Mari just said, I think Horus was a primeval god from the shamanic times.
Yeah, well, that would then tie in, because talked about Andrew Collins and his theories and his book around, well, the Cygnus Key. Lots more books that I plan to read of his, but obviously I heard him talk a few times, most recently in the symposium, but obviously with on the Turkey tour with him, Megalithomania. But you know, he was saying he believed that the culture that was in Anatolia, now Turkey, all these Tastepla sites like Göbekli Tepe, there was a passing on of knowledge from people who were in that society and made those structures to then go on to ancient Egypt.
It's all right, Ben. Mark's got to go and prep for his live stream.
Yeah.
We'll see you in that.
Yeah. Cheers, Ben. Thanks for coming in, mate. Well done winning the quiz.
See you Thursday.
Yeah. See you, mate.
See you in a thing.
Bye. So yeah, that myth interests me, and as I say, the way, as I say, Hughes, I think Ted Hughes, the poet, in his book, does I think a really strong case for Shakespeare, or Fakespeare, as Liz would say, how we use that as a formula, and very much in that he was talking about all the connections. Although Hughes wasn't going into the theory that Shakespeare wasn't, it wasn't Shakespeare who wrote it, but he was going into all these esoteric things that would go in and undercurrents within the plays. So I think that suggests to me even more that there was a group of people. Hi, you go, Shredder. That were a group of people involved in writing those texts, and it was part of, I don't know what it'd be, certainly sort of a myth making, and I suppose people would say it's a way of shaping society since. But again, it's this idea of secret knowledge being contained within stories, within myths, within legends, and it's that again, and obviously that then has continued for centuries, all those Shakespeare stories right up to now, whether it's just people redoing the Shakespeare in more modern day films, or it's just it's perpetuating those storylines. But I just had a thought the other day that this formula of having a king and then him being usurped by a rival and this conflict, and you've got to like renew the king, and it's this conflict, and then out of that comes a new king, a new ruler. And I thought that's the basis of our society. And certainly if you look at our elections, the political system, you have the different leaders of the two big parties, all over the world, basically, that follows this formula. And it's that formula again, when you've got the idea of there's a leader and things are going a bit wrong, so you need someone new to come in and take over. That this story was
sorry. Ego said he's listened to the whole of it ×2 speed. I said, how the hell did Gnomes in Cars sound?
Wow.
He said it sounded good. He said high speed Gnomes in Teslas. What a brilliant name for a rock band.
I reckon that would be, yeah.
They catch fire.
So yeah, just
right, shall we move on?
Yeah, so
we're going to be a bit quicker today because Ben's got a live stream at 9. Mark's just doing a little.
So I'm going to be double speed.
Yeah.
Without you needing to speed me up. So
come on, then, let's get on with it.
Okay. So again, we've got the Egypt connections where Jay Widener was mentioned again in the quiz, and Vincent Bridges' book on alchemy, and how those sort of secrets were passed on through time. And what Jay Widener sort of says, the first sort of recorded person that has this knowledge of alchemy was Isis the prophetess. So possibly there was a real person called Isis. Obviously there's the goddess Isis, but again, it might be one of those things where it's linked to a person, and she was supposed to have got this from a god who basically wanted to have sex with her. So she said, all right, as long as you give me this knowledge of this secret knowledge of alchemy. The reason we've gone to this Mecca stone is this other connection so much comes through the alchemy book, of the importance of stones for meteorites, and how they're supposed to be central to all these different beliefs and religions. So obviously the famous one probably is the one in Mecca, the Kaaba stone, I think it's referred to. Oh Christ, what's that? But it's said to be part of a meteorite. But I mean, that just fascinates me, and that was pre-Islamic, that it was worshipped long before Muhammad and Islam became a thing.
It may not be mental, but
but I mean, I'm just fascinated by how it became a thing, and the idea, it's in this black cube that's moved around, and this importance of the symbol of the black cube, black rock. Obviously, we know we've got BlackRock as this sort of mega corporation now. But from this, then there was, this. I think I mentioned it last week as well. There was a goddess in Turkey era, Sybil, and she was again connected with a stone which is supposed to be a meteorite stone. I don't actually know if that's still there's a trace of that anywhere. I don't know, but it's but Rome, the Roman Empire, when they were losing a battle with Carthage, decided that their gods weren't good enough, so they wanted extra power, so they brought this Sybil stone to Rome. And that's probably after that they developed this cult around the Sybil, which involved these sort of things about people castrating themselves and all these sort of things. But again, it was this worship of a meteorite, and this connection with God or gods. So I was wondering, I don't know, could it have been, obviously a lot of this stuff is where these sort of civilizations, religions grew up after a big.
I thought that was a washing machine.
It does look a bit like it, the outside.
That's outrageous.
This idea that it comes from a cataclysm. The Younger Dryas is mentioned, and then after that there was sort of a rebuilding, potentially. Great civilization that happened before may have got destroyed, and just a few wise people that came around, the sort of Graham Hancock and others, their theory. But I'm wondering, is it something that's harking back to that time of cataclysm? People talk whether it was connected to meteorites hitting the earth, and that was causing this cataclysmic natural destruction of the world. And I'm just thinking, if it was something like that, could sort of remnants of these stones have become connected with religions and belief systems following that sort of thing? And the other thing of course, is they're rocks from space. So of course, if they're sort of coming down,
rocks from space,
coming down, and it would seem like they're coming from the gods, but I think it's this connection with stones. As we know, obviously megalithic sites were central to the belief systems of ancient peoples, and so I'm fascinated by the connection with stones and space. I suppose we've got a meteorite that sums all that up, really.
Which one am I doing here?
What's the next one on your list, lovely?
Mandalorian.
Is it already that? Is it? All right.
Yeah, because we need to be quicker.
Oh, right, okay. All right. Yeah, do the. I'll just go for the one in the middle.
Ah.
Yeah, that'll do. Well, that's the Vesica Pisces.
That's the thing at Glastonbury.
In Chalice-Well.
Chalice-Well, they've got what is it? Like a water feature, and it's Vesica Pisces, but it resonates with how many heartbeats or something. I don't know. I've got a thing somewhere about it. But
so all the lots of symbolism around that, of course, about unity of life and fertility and all those sort of things, and but a mandala, I mean, maybe more simpler than that, but just intersecting circles, like circles interlinking, which represents a union of opposites, which people need to have within them to open this gate of spiritual ascension. So I'm sort of reading, I've got this a lot from the Tanishka book, but as she said, it was distorted by people who are aware of the dark arts, as she put it, and believing they had to ascend a pyramid of power to acquire sacred knowledge, when it's it's not sure shouldn't be about that. But when she said the Grail mysteries were driven underground, people were persecuted if they were following the old ways. Initiates would identify each other by drawing a circle on the ground, and if the other person responded by drawing an intersecting circle to create a mandala, then they knew they were amongst sacred kin. So it was like an identifying thing.
I get the Olympic rings.
Yeah. So what she was saying is, you know, again, the people of empire and the people in power have taken that idea and they've nicked it and they've used it for their own symbolic events and ways of marking competitive competitive events, which are sort of again a symbolic of a different way of living. Yeah, a different different way of consciousness, and it's all about being the first and top of the pyramid, as she put. The Romans adopted the symbol of these mandala interlocking circles as a strength and unity known as Borromean rings, and that was also featured in early Buddhist art and Norse art. Repeated multiples are thought to magnify strength, but as Tanisha said, it's actually battering magic to distill down to a simplified sigil to concentrate power. But I mean, she mentioned that is it MasterCard as well? They got you know, interlocking circles. But again, it's something I wasn't aware of, and I thought it was quite an interesting idea. As we know, there's a lot of so many logos, company logos. I know Freeman Fly did a whole thing on this, didn't he, about like Freemasonry in corporate logos and that sort of thing. But yeah, I just thought it was quite interesting, the mandala rings and this idea that it used to be a way of communicating.
Like Thames or Time Teas. Let's have
yeah, that rings a bell from the old days of watching the telly when the old ITV. Not Thames, maybe Time Teas. Yeah. So that would be the North. Oh, they didn't used to look like that, did it? Ego Shredder. I'm sure there was an older version.
No, it rings a bell.
Yeah. Or maybe it was a different one. But yeah, I think I know what you mean. One of those old TV companies that had it. Yeah. So, well, Liz mentioned.
I'm going to go on to Google instead of Grave because you get better pictures.
Alrighty. So, Liz mentioned in the quiz about Elohim in passing, like how Jay Widener was talking about the temple book on plasma and linking it with Bellino's book, The Naked Bible, looking at the oldest original texts, but just saying there that Elohim, you know, he thought that they were plasma beings, you know, and could well be. I definitely think there's so much with this idea of plasma and how so much of what's spiritual, a lot of what we think of as the spiritual could basically be things that are happening in the plasma sphere sort of thing. This other dimensions almost. I know it's not talking about other dimensions really, but it's this
shining ones.
Yeah, it's 99% or more of the universe, but we can't see it. But yeah, so much about that Bellino stuff on the Bible is fascinating. This idea of as he interprets the old text, and obviously Paul Wallace has done a lot of stuff with him, that the Garden of Eden, Gan Eden, I think they said it should be referred to, and it was like an enclosure. So the idea it was somewhere where people were collected and kept to work and be like slaves, and that they were genetic. What is now modern humans was genetic manipulation to get them to that stage. And these biblical stories of the what referred to as the Elohim, they were, again, this idea of the rival gods fighting, and Enki and Enlil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Again, you've got this idea of like two rival gods fighting. So maybe there's origins there in terms of maybe these legends that, as I say, have persisted through time about rival gods competing, and that maybe that does go back to these ancient, whatever they were, whether they were extraterrestrial or interdimensional or from an earlier, more superior civilization, but these whatever they were, creatures or just superior beings, but not in terms of being godlike, supernatural necessarily, but just being advanced. And a lot of the descriptions of, as they say, you go to the literal descriptions in the original text of the Bible, the way they describe them is often these things that they do sound like spaceships or warcraft of some, and UFOs maybe, but so much of the stories of them, they're incredibly violent, and obviously a lot of, well, you get beginnings, I guess, of the idea of sacrifice, because they wanted humans as well as animals just constantly to devour them and eating them up. And sadly children were a huge part of it, and it just horrendous stories. And obviously that yeah, as they say, the idea that this is some supernatural loving God, it's just such a terrible concept. We've gone on to another picture there. Yeah, right.
Trying to speed you up.
Thanks.
What picture do you want?
Right.
Funny little bloke. Look at his horse.
Yeah, it's from the Notre Dame, but that's quite a good one actually. But that's, yeah, let's go for Notre Dame. So, okay, it's not coming up there anyway. Oh well, just go up to anyone. I mean, I the again, going back to the Widener and Bridges book about alchemy, and talking about the Fulcanelli's book about the cathedrals and Notre Dame de Paris, and it was saying the most important, or Falconelli said the most important of all the different statues and the rest of it, incredible architecture in this Notre Dame, which is sort of like, as he said, it when it originally constructed, at least there's been lots of renovations. It was
that one.
No, it's all right, don't worry about it, it's not there.
That?
No.
Oh, bugger off. That?
No, it's not that. That's amazing. It's not my fault. It came up immediately when I searched for it.
Let's have a look at all.
But anyway, so the most important one was this Saint Marcel and the dragon. So obviously, again, that's another legend amongst many around dragons. I was talking last week about Saint Margaret and the dragon, and I've mentioned St George before. This idea of spearing the dragon, conquering the dragon.
Any of those?
No.
What the bloody hell?
I don't know, but
that one.
No, strange, isn't
it?
Oh well. So what Widener was saying as well is this idea that it's,
no idea,
doesn't matter. It's got Saint Marcel and it's got a dragon at his feet, and the
Are we back?
Hello again, people.
We don't know we're back yet.
No, I'm just saying it as.
Yeah, we're back.
Hey, that was exciting, wasn't it? What he was saying, the idea of this Saint Marcel is on this middle pillar in this porch of Notre Dame, and the idea they say is that so that the dragon could apply to sort of 3 different stellar axes. There's the Draco constellation, with Draco meaning dragon, which was sort of up at the top of the night sky, and it seemed like everything else was sort of hanging off it in terms of the constellations, and it was the top of this axis, like a pole that goes down through the middle of the earth. So a lot of the symbology is around how this then relates to the eclipses and that sort of thing, and how that changes. So it was all to do with the directions of the wings and that sort. No, it's this one. That's the fourth thing. Never mind. So anyway, move on from that really, but the symbology of dragons is obviously a fascinating one, because they're usually seen as evil in our more recent sort of Christian idea. But so yeah, if we go on to this.
Oh,
right, yeah. Are you allowed to say that? Probably not.
Which picture do you want?
Go to the top left one. But yeah, so I think I mentioned before that to me there just seems to be like a progression from the stones. As I say, there's talk of, maybe there was just a meteorite stone that hit the earth, and everyone's like, like 2001 moment. It's like, whoa, and it's like start praying to it. But how these became using the natural stones, making them into megalithic sites, stone circles, and ways of channeling, directing the power, the energy of the sky and the earth. And then it's developing rituals around it. People, their rituals and how these then carried on through the years, and then through language they then became into myths and legends, which again would get transferred over time. And I would say then there's another section where it became into esoteric knowledge, and then methods of people using it to manipulate and control people. But this idea around this Died pillar, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's supposed to be the backbone of Osiris. It was in the Egyptian days, representing that these sort of this column, a power object in the Neolithic cultures of the Nile Delta, symbolizing stability or divine establishment. The world tree or world access, again, it's like all these ideas around, you've got tree of life and all this Kabbalah stuff that came around it in later times. So a common motif in shamanic traditions, the infrastructure of the universe. But then I found it fascinating how, reading in the Widener book, talking about how the symbol became a word, Died, D-J-E-D, as it's on there. And this was associated with similar sounding words. Also for the Egyptian word for to speak, to declare, to say, with emphasis, it being a sacred word. So like speech deified, and interesting. Obviously, I'm interested in language and symbols, and that, yeah. Oh yeah, well that looks as well like some sort of ancient technology, doesn't it?
Like antiquity.
Yeah, it does indeed. So, but I like the idea. This that to me is this sort of showing how this, literally how this, like a stone megalith, if you like, was supposed to have power, channeling power, and then it became into speech, and the word itself was supposed to have power.
Maybe it was some telecommunications device.
Maybe it was, yeah. So
that's what it bloody looks like.
Yeah, it does indeed. So it's also similar to the Hebrew word meaning olive tree, and that was region regarded as the tree of life because it was sort of the most that people got life from, if you like. And I found it fascinating as well that it's a similar cluster of meaning in Indo-European languages around the oak. You might have the oak tree. You mentioned that in the quiz. So
bloody things everywhere, mind.
Oh, there's a lot of it about, yeah. So the so in the Indo-European languages, it's like dr, these things without any vowels, but DRW. So that was the word for oak, like this root word for oak in Indo-European. So when ancient Indo-Europeans went from Central Asian grasslands to the forest of post-glacial Europe, oak became then the tree of life. In this transplanted to a different geography, in sort of around Northern Europe. So oak had these same benefits of food, and it became associated with social stability, like you were saying around the quiz. And this, as I say, axis around the top of universe down through the sky, through the earth, through the roots into the underworld. So oak also meant firm, strong, stable, enduring. And our English words truth, trust, and tree come from the same root word. And druid also is this in this family of words, DRW, dru. So it's all these family words, and druid supposedly means seer of the oak. So all this was in the Widener Bridges book. Obviously, there might be different interpretations, but I just love that connection from stone megalith to language, and all a continuation of, the same power is encapsulated within the words as within the
I forgot to say,
stone.
Disney.
What's so often when I try to get images and it comes up with games, or like for a lot of these gods and that, they're now characters in.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's another way of taking the old myths. I mean, you could say they're perpetuating it, but maybe they're also, in some ways, especially when sort of Disney get involved or whatever, it's ways of, as you say, capture your imagination as they have their. So again, the sword in the stone, as I say, so many of these Grail, Arthurian, again, as mentioned by Widener and Bridges, it came at this around the south of France, and you got this region where the Templars were strong, and you had the Cathars, and when these things became suppressed, they sort of got into the stories that the troubadours, there was this sort of fashion, if you like, for these troubadours going around and singing these ballads, and so that sort of origin of a lot of these Grail legends. So a lot of them were containing these alchemical ideas that was, sort of had to be kept more cryptic and hidden, if you like. So the sword in the stone, again, as I say, about stones and about how they got power, and the sword, I think a lot of the time, you had symbolizes again this sort of lightning bolt. You get the idea of lightning bolt coming down through the tree of life. So it's another really way of how, or just an example of how physical symbols became into narratives and myths. And
so this is like the lightning bolt.
I think this sword equates to the lightning bolt a lot in these sort of Kabbalah and other sort of esoteric stuff. To me, I could be wrong, but that's
what did else temple.
Yeah, it's in Egypt. So apparently it looks very impressive, but apparently that was I forget when might have been a few hundred years BC, but it was apparently built on the site of a much older one, and there's all these texts there which apparently very detailed, more detailed than ones that otherwise available in other places in Egypt, about their sort of formation story for Egypt, and also why the temples were built in certain ways. And this idea of from these primeval waters, there was this mythical island, which made me think of the Isle of Avalon and that sort of idea. These people, the Sheptu, who came from a period of darkness, great destruction. Again, you could have this younger Dryas and this great cataclysm. And the former inhabitants described in text as Dew. Again, I don't pronounce it. Double DW. How are you supposed to pronounce that? With something like ghosts, a primitive cult place, and the main focus was called double D.
This is the sort of thing that Caleb does in Scrabble and then wins. Well, Caleb's got 2 letters left, and he says, "Oh, I'm having that," and it turns out to be some mud hut in Indonesia at 15 points.
Yeah, but this was transliterated as Jid, so it's that pillar, the prototype of the later Jid pillar. So it stems back to this ancient site, which again, as I say, probably followed on from a much older civilization around Egypt. So
the reason we're sort of like rushing through this is because our old mucker Ben has got a live stream at 9, and we don't want to keep you guys from being able to see his live stream. Not that we would anyway. You just tell us to sack off. Right, so we're rushing through it.
Yeah, well,
it's okay.
There we go. Well, yeah, I thought we'd just have a look at these mountains if you can find them.
I'll find them.
I'm going to put Siberia in there. Oh, that's it. I think
yeah, with the sun coming out. I remember this.
Yeah. So Andrew Collins mentioned this as it's a Kapi National Park in Siberia, and I'm not actually sure if the name of the mountain is Parabola or they're just describing the shape of it. But this sort of twin peaks, if you like, but with this sort of beautiful bowl in between them. And Collins talked about in Cygnus Key how these.
Well, Mari said, "Can Mark talk about this at a further time?" These are all snippets from talks that he's done. So, which one would that have been a snippet from?
This one? What, the mountains?
No, the one before.
I don't think I may have mentioned Edfu much, but it was from Andrew Collins and the Cygnus Key.
So the Andrew Collins in the Cygnus Key live stream, Mari, is where he was talking about the stuff he was talking about before this mountain.
Yeah, but I'm not. To be honest, Mari, I'm not sure I mentioned Edfu before.
The whole point of this was supposed to be snippets from your
bloody
Alma.
I just, I thought I'd throw a bit in.
Gnomes in cars.
I thought I'd throw in a little bit of interest for new.
No, you've just confused the issue.
No, but it might come in again. But it was because it meant, I suppose, more than anything else, because it mentioned the Diad pillar, and I have mentioned that before in terms of Viedma bridges, and I think that really fascinates me because I just again, as I say, this idea of progression from the stone site to language, and how it all connects up there. But yeah, Collins, in terms of
there you go. Executive storm in the video.
But these mountains, I mean, Collins was speculating if these could even be the sort of where the whole, if you want to call it a cult, or the whole thing of building the idea of twin towers, if you like, and obviously Göbekli Tepe, you've got these twin pillars, and then you've got a portal stone in between them, which is sort of pointed to certain constellations, and this is obviously in a lot of the stone circles all around Europe. You often have sort of pillars, a gateway, portals. And he was speculating, could it even have started here? He was talking about how the people from Siberia were the ones that moved across, well, probably both to Northern Europe and ended up going being these Groudware people that went to the Orkneys and down through the British Isles, but also other set of the same people from the region of Siberia went south of the Caucasus and went into what's now Turkey and onto what's Israel and Egypt. And
Ego said, is it natural? Or
yes,
it's natural.
Yeah, that's a natural one. Yeah. I mean, it's a stunning place.
Manson question mark.
Well, it was just really, I mean,
why is bloody Ego or one of them taking the piss out of my old DJ? My bloody Googling skills.
Well, I won't go into it big time now, but it was just, like I say, sort of when I was saying this progression of ancient knowledge, and
are we talking about him?
Yeah. Just the idea of, like I say,
tattoo changed.
Things going from stones to myths, but ways of harnessing power, and then Empire, the dark forces, if you like, taking this power and misusing it. And I mentioned last week how, like, the Templars got a lot of their ideas of organization from the Assassins, who were Muslim or vaguely Muslim group, which had these sort of, and there was like the young men there, they used to get indoctrinated by this sort of old guy that was in charge of them. And they used to get drugged and taken to this sort of garden when they used to get all these earthly delights, young women and all this. And then they were drugged again and taken back. And they were convinced that they'd actually been to paradise because of this leader. So they were like programmed, and then they would go out and kill and do whatever this guy said. And
I'm pointing the wrong way. MK Ultra.
Indeed.
MK Ultra.
Exactly. It seemed to me just like a prototype.
Eden.
Right.
There's a whole chapter on that. The Gods of
Eden.
You
also got to listen to Liz's Gods of Eden if you haven't already.
It yet because it was depressing me. But I am going to go back to it.
Yeah, be depressed. But the bits that Liz has already read. So this is an advert for all our yesterdays. But yeah, it just seemed to me, I was reading about what the Assassins was doing, and again, it just seemed like a progression, but in a, unfortunately, a nasty way of manipulation and power and language and harnessing energy, but directing it to manipulate people to kill and to be agents of the dark forces and to, unfortunately, subvert things so we don't get the knowledge and all the rest of it.
No, because I cracked the whip.
Yeah.
We've actually made it so that we can all go and.
I'm bloody exhausted now. I'm going to bloody lie down
so
now.
Our names will be in Ben's live stream, but probably brains won't be. But we did a good job there, Mark.
Oh, thanks. So it was very rushed, but
I said we did a good job.
There will be, you did a good job. We will be back, and there'll be a more in-depth talk another time. But it
opened DJ's eyes up to new stuff too a while back. Yeah, it's good to sort of just have a little reflect and just go over some of the bits.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of them fell asleep during your actual talks.
I expect so. Yeah.
Now, on that note, let's, if you fancy it, go in. Thanks, Mari. Ben,
thanks, Mari.
I'm having Big Mike. Ben is doing a live stream now. I think it's about the war or something.
Hapanwo TV for those who aren't.
Hapanwo TV. They all know Ben.
I know they do.
They all know Ben. So we'll sing you out.
Oh Christ.
Let's go into Ben's live stream, but we'll sing you out.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes.
Later.
Gnomes
in cars.
Gnomes in cars. Gnomes. Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars. The gnomes. They're in cars. Gnomes. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes in cars. Gnomes. Gnomes. They're in cars, Ego.
Gnomes in cars.
They're in cars, Ego. Those gnomes.
Gnomes in cars. Gnomes. Laughing gnomes. Miserable gnomes.
Cars. Gnomes and cars.
Gnomes.